Hey guys, welcome to this quick tank review of the Ke-Ni Otsu Tier 3 Japanese light tank. I have to say, to start off with, this is the most insane tank that Wargaming have ever released into World of Tanks Blitz. The DPM of this tank is 1920, which is roughly the same as an E75, which is a Tier 9 heavy tank. The gun is very nice. It has a 4-round autoloader with, I would say, half a second delay between the shots and a very, very quick reload. You can really dish out the damage with this tank. Another nice fact is that it has a diesel engine, so the fire chance is very, very low. And let's get stuck directly into some gameplay and see how it works out. I'm really hoping that the gameplay here is going to show you how the DPM of the tank performs. You can see that I'm carrying quite a bit of AP or premium AP ammunition, but actually that's not necessary in a tier 3 game because you can penetrate pretty much everything frontally. As it will when I'm doing a commentary for the first time, then this first game is going to be a loss. But it's really going to highlight how good the gun on this tank is. And you can actually see that the mobility is fairly good as well, because it has a 50 kmh top speed and yeah, it's fairly mobile, it gets around what it needs to. The power to weight ratio is not great, but it's not bad either, so you can pretty much move around quickly around the battlefield. So we spot some enemies here. Look here, bounce, bounce, penetration, penetration. He's just gonna sit there now, and look how fast that gun reloaded. The clip is ready to shoot again almost instantly. Now I have this Tetrak. I don't know what he's doing. He's blocking me. But hey, okay, let him do that. There you got a quick glimpse of why it would have been nice to use auto aim in this situation, because with an auto loader you really want to dish out the damage very precisely and very quickly at close range. That's not possible without auto aim, so I might consider trying it out, but I just haven't had success with it previously. Now we're getting rushed by a crazy BT2, and I've loaded some premium shells. My team is, yeah, they're falling like flies, unfortunately. So this is not gonna go well for me. I would say if I had run, I could have run now, and I should have run, because I'm gonna get rushed by 5 tanks, and they're just gonna pin me down, and I can't do anything. And actually get rammed there and get stood on the side, so yeah, not the best situation. Anyway, let's take a look at the post-game stats. So we did 1156 damage, made 25,000 credits. That's another thing about this tank. For a tier 3 premium tank, it makes insanely good credits. Also due to the fact that you almost never need to use premium. Now we have enemy Ke-Ni Otsu on the enemy team, and he's gonna show just how good this tank is as well, because he's gonna be number 1 on his team and I'm gonna be number 1 on my team. So what I like to do on this map, in a tank with excellent gun depression like the Ke-Ni Otsu, I'm gonna move very close to the cap on the left side from the spawn, right side from the other spawn. What you can do there is, there's some nice bushes, you can poke over, and you can get initial spots on any medium tanks or tank destroyers trying to camp in the bushes a bit further ahead. So let's see how it works out. Okay, we spotted T-28, that's a bit of an issue. I can't penetrate him with my regular rounds. At least not frontally. We have a T-26 there, so the T-28 he drops down. I see that there's T-28 and there's also the Ke-Ni Otsu to my left. Luckily he's behind some bushes, so I'm not focusing on him right now. I'm just a bit worried about the T-18 gonna derp the hell out of me, because this tank does not have very good armor. If you get derped, you're dead. You'll see it in a game later where I get derped pretty hard. So, Ke-Ni Otsu's punishing my team. I'm bouncing, landing some good shots as well. Here comes the T-28, he wants to pick me, let's dance. Okay, pushes over, his engine's broken, he can't shoot me from here. Premium rounds, back to regular rounds. That's the T-26. Just waiting for the shot, here we go. Practically everything your tier, one tier below you, you're gonna penetrate. When you get in a tier 4 game, you will have difficulties with the gun. You might need to use a lot more APCR, or no, not APCR, but premium AP rounds. And that just isn't, that isn't great. But it's the only downside about the gun. The premium AP has 69 millimeters of penetration, as far as I remember, and the regular AP has 50 or something like that. Anyways, he's AFK, this guy, so I'm hoping to find the other one. He's not AFK. He puts a good shot into me, because the armor on this tank is, it's not great. As you can see, when he was slightly angled there, I actually had a hard time penetrating him. And we go for the last kill. So that was a pretty quick game, showed the excellent gun depression and again just the insane DPM of this gun. It was an ace mastery, 5 kills, 1158 damage, so pretty sweet. Anyway, let's get into the next game. Back on Rockfield, where I lost in the first game. They don't have anything really great except the T-82. He can really punish our team, and if he's a decent player, he will, but let's see how it goes. What I really like to do on Rockfield is always go up. Regardless of the tank I'm using, I always go up. In general, having the high ground is going to give you an advantage over the enemy. What I like to do in my light tanks is use that bush right here in front of me and sit there to get the initial spots. That was 1, 2, okay. So it looks like they're pushing pretty hard to the cap. Cruiser down there. Don't really have any shots right now. One thing that is a bit frustrating about the gun on this tank is the very slow shell velocity. So the shells travel really slow, and that's quite a problem. What you didn't see here was that I got derped by the T-82, I believe it was, for 220 health. So he was somewhere in the back camping, like he should be, and just punished me, because I have practically no armor. But he's gonna push in, do a bit of a YOLO run. Gonna try to make another shot, 2 shots, 3, I'm reloading. In these low tier games on Rockfield, it's actually hard if you go up to have, or to consistently have a big impact on the game, because a lot of low tier players, they don't have the experience, so they will try to go up instead of going down. Or they will try to go down instead of going up. Sorry, a bit of confusion. So we have a Valentine. He's a pretty dangerous target for me, but I can actually pull 2 full clips into him before he can shoot me. Look at the DPM, it's insane. That is really the highlight of this tank, and that is why I really think it's broken, because yeah, you have DPM that's worthy of a tier 8 medium tank on a tier 3 tank. And yeah, that's just not gonna work out. I think Wargaming made an error when they released it. I don't think they were aware of how insane this was, but I could be wrong. So, pretty good game again. Not over 1,000 damage. I think, on average, you should be in this tank. You should be, if you're a very good player, you should be averaging over 1,000 damage per game. Simply because that only equates to what 1 minute of constant firing, and that's actually not a lot. Oh, sorry, I said 1 minute. I meant 30 seconds. Yeah. So here we go on mines. Mines, there's only really one place you want to go on mines, that's the hill. Unfortunately I spawned in the TD location, don't know why, but hey, matchmaker and the spawn type working as intended. So it looks like for a rarity, the whole of my team is gonna push up to the hill, which is always nice. And I actually spot, just there when I was looking at the players, I spot that it's the same T82 on the enemy team as it was in the last game. This game he's gonna have a bit more impact, but I don't want to give it away, but he dies pretty... He suffers a brutal death at the hands of the Ke-Ni Otsu. So this is also a nice spot. The only problem here is, if you shoot, you get spotted. And I shoot, so I'm spotted. If you get spotted here, you can really get punished by the by enemy TVs camping at the back. But since this is a low tier game, I'm not really too afraid about that. If this was a high tier game, I would probably maybe have made one shot and then pulled back. So we have a Valentine 18 with the paper gun shield. Looks like he wants to get a piece. He doesn't think I'm reloaded that quickly. Just blind fire kill him. That tends to happen quite often in these games. TDs, they don't really relocate like they should, so taking a few blind shots is not a bad idea. So the enemy T82, as I mentioned, he just dubbed one of our tanks, and I have a suspicion he's here in the corner, where TDs usually do hide. And hey, T82, welcome. Now look at this. Look at the DPM. Under 10 seconds, I was able to dish out 240 damage to him. I think it wasn't even 10 seconds, or maybe it was only 5 seconds. This gun is just insane. So I haven't taken any damage yet, so I'm very confident that I'm gonna win this game. So I just want to stack up some kills, stack up some damage, make it a good game for myself. So I try to stay behind the rock and peek out now. The reason I tried to stay behind the rock was that there's no reason for him to spot me before I am ready to shoot at him. If this was a higher tier game and the enemies were a bit more clever, then probably he wouldn't have, he would have expected that I was gonna come from the back. I'll have a bit of a derp moment, trying to turn, I don't know where the last enemy is. I thought he might be at spawn, but it turns out he's come around from the back and is gonna try to defend the cap. And he actually resets it, but he's gonna, yeah. He's facing 2 tanks from up there. I'm gonna come around from the back, try to get a shot into him. You see a bit of the weakness here of the gun. It's actually the gun elevation, so I can barely make shots, but I make it. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this quick tank review, and have fun.